Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and this is Sunday. I'm recording this a little early, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to post it because I'm stressed out beyond all imagining today. Stuff is not going well, but by that I mean my work and the plugins that I'm working on. I was just ready to make a post when I noticed that I had a bug in the middle of making the post, and I'm on a time schedule today, so this is not great. But when I was talking about Focus is the plugin where you get to distort up the mid-range in a particular way, and it resists aliasing. And there was somebody who commented, can we have the opposite of distorting the highs and lows and leaving the mid-range alone? And I went, no, because that's a dumb idea. Little did I know, they followed that up with posting a picture of a transformer distortion that did a very similar thing. As if to say, in your face, Chris. Well, maybe not in your face, Chris, but but see, here, this is a thing. Can we have something like this? So I said, would you be interested in a work in progress today? And somebody said, what does that mean? It is in the way of saying I can drop what I'm doing at the moment and give you something in line with what you were asking for, in hopes you'll like it, even though it might not be the final form of that thing. Because if I'm to do a transformer thing, I'd probably want to do it in such a way that you'd be selecting between different ones and possibly having it just built into the signal path without a bunch of gain staging like it was a distortion box. I don't have that today, but what I have is a little something called Coils. Now what Coils is what was being asked for. It is a way of distorting the highs and lows and not the mid-range, but it'll have a similar but different reaction to what Focus does, because the insight there was that with Focus you're boosting up into distortion in the mid-range while leaving everything else clean. And if you're boosting up lows and highs into aliasing, that would just be terrible. But the way that I code plugins, in particular distortion ones, you could also increasingly restrict the highs and lows into a kind of distortion. And that is essentially what I've done in Coils. That is my transformer model as it's being evolved. It's basically just today that we're getting to play with this. So you get to play with this even if I have to stay up really late at night doing it today. And you should hear it, because I need to cut this short and get back to debugging. Here is what it sounds like. Here's a rocky, rock and rolly thing. And if I turn up the saturation, we start getting, that's a little bit loud though. We start getting this saturated effect in the lows, and it's restricting the highs a little bit, but transformers are not distortion boxes. So this is never going to be a really obvious effect, but the subtleties of it should be interesting. It's doing a density style saturation because the way that that's implemented, it worked out best for the transformer model. And it's also not restricting it, so if you fry the saturation into it, you'll wind up with the distortion wrapping around. Rather than being full crank, it'll start frying the transformer to the point where it'll kind of fart out. And I'm not doing that here, but as you emphasize the saturation thing, it will come into play. So again, going back to this. And the blank there, 0, is probably realistic. And then as we keep turning it up, to get this effect. And at full crank. But wait, we can also do this, which is the synthesizer styly stuff. And I haven't even gotten into core DC yet. So if I turn this all the way up and then kick this in, you should hear a change in sound. And that little noise is the transformer core being fried. Only at full crank. And then at normal C, it's a lot cleaner. And it should get you noticeable effects around the middle. And then we have core DC. And what core DC does is it biases the core of the transformer, making that asymmetrical distortion that people are also asking about. Because that makes sense of the transformer in case it got itself magnetized in some way. So, you're not going to hear much out of it, but it's going to give you more of an effect depending upon which direction you magnetize the core. And we can also go back to our noisy rock. You might be able to hear it better here. Because acoustic instruments will be more asymmetrical typically. So we can sort of change the tonality of things a little bit. Like we're bringing the kick drum out a little bit this way. And that'll do for now because I have to get back to debugging because I found out the issue with this. I had it set up wrongly, and when I was applying core DC, the core DC was getting through into the output. But yeah, this is Coils. It is a kind of transformer emulation. And the whole idea of this is that you should be able to play with it and have sort of the core functionality of it before I develop a more accurate and thorough transformer modeling. Because I can probably add some details to this, getting it to operate more realistically. But the basic concept behind this, and it's set for sort of Neve style transformers based on the measurements that I was being shown. The basic concept of this should still be functional, and I feel that the way this works, it's going to work better with me making basically select your transformer from a pop-up menu or the slider. Simply because this is not ever meant to be like if you're able to crank it up to the point where you're hearing the thing farting out, you should never be using it that intensely. And the whole idea is that it becomes part of a more sophisticated plugin and contributes to the tone in useful ways. Like I can make versions of console going forwards that are essentially transformer coupled because I'll build this in and have it be part of how it does its thing. But yeah, here's Coils. By the time I sleep tonight, you shall have it in debugged form. But for now, I'm going to finish making the video and get back to my debugging. And see some of you guys on Monday when I do the question and answer podcast. But yeah, I'm Patreon supported. You might not necessarily want to give me money if it encourages me to beat myself into the ground this way and get so stressed out. But it's because I care. It's because I care, and it's also because I hate putting something out and then finding while I'm recording, like, oh, there's a bug that I didn't fix. That drives me up the wall. However, I'm fixing it, so that's all good. And I'm also doing live streams both for question and answer for the music thing that I do. And then I'm going to be adding by 2020 a Wednesday stream, which is analyzing people's music on the evergreen style, like put things in context stream. And that'll be patron music. And I got headphones that don't leave black bits of crap stuck to my ears, which will be better for me doing analysis type stuff because these are good quality. And yeah, I will see you later. I need to get offline and go and fix some of these bugs now. Talk to you later. Where's my headphone? There we go. Goodbye, Coils. And goodbye, folks. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye.